right?
That's an interesting thing to start as we just went live. Talk about menus. I hear that, and we just went live. But anyway, welcome back to the Miniac. We are live again with the John Cooper Works Racing Team. We're still waiting for Lewis to pop in at some point, but Road America seems to have been a big weekend for Mini, and it seemed like based on the coverage that it was all Mini. It was like Mini this, Mini that. I rewatched the live streams for those races, and that's all they were talking about the entire time. So let's bring back Clayton Williams, Cristian Perocarpi, and PJ Groenke, and we'll eventually have Lewis in here at some point. But I have highlights from the race, and I gotta be honest, guys, this was probably the coolest thing I saw in that race too. Was that three across photo finish drive there. That was just the coolest thing to see.
Couldn't have been a better result.
That looks awesome. I need to find pictures of that. I think that just looks really cool.
Yeah, that was PJ's idea, and then we radioed to Clay and we said, "Where's Clay?" And he told us where he was, so we almost came to a stop just to go in formation. But all credits to PJ for that idea.
Yes. Well, that was an awesome idea. I just love that. I just got a chance to see that. I was like, that is so cool.
We got to do that every time now.
Yeah. Now you guys have to do that every single time. Every single time you guys win that. So this was just a phenomenal weekend for you all. We had 4 first places, and PJ finally got on podium, got a second place finish.
Yeah, finally.
It was almost a win. I think PJ
almost.
Yeah. Almost. Well, PJ, I got to ask you though, did you think about passing Cristian at any point during that time?
I've been doing this a long time, and I know the team game. And when I got up into second on the first lap, it was just time to run the race. And that's really how you do it as a team, because the last thing you want to do is start fighting with each other. What you want to do is you want to start pushing each other towards the front and build that gap. And then, to be completely honest with you, if there was a clean opportunity to make a pass within the last 5 minutes, sure. If traffic played a part, sure. But unless anything fell on my lap, that was how we started. That's how we were going to finish. We are a mini JCW team, and to basically lock out the first 2 spots, that was the only thing going through my head.
That's phenomenal. And from the footage we're watching right here, you guys were helping each other out the entire race, basically. Yeah. I showed a first clip when you took off during race 1, but the race 2, you guys were just with each other the whole time.
Yeah.
And we're gonna add Lewis into here. So we got Lewis in. We're just watching some of the live footage or the footage from the touring car race with PJ and Cristian. And you guys that was true teamwork right there. That is like the epitome of being part of the Mini family.
Yeah, and I think that that just shows the difference of just how our team is compared to different teams. Definitely, like with the BRZs, the first race, as soon as they got up front, they were hitting each other, and nothing bad about those two. We're both fighting for a win, but we I don't know. Me and PJ just made sure we could go out there, and we wanted a pretty good gap, and we got that pretty good gap of like 22 seconds to third or something like that.
Well, I was pushing you so hard, I actually broke the tow hook on the front of the car. Yeah. And that's how you do it as a team, and that's what Mini JCW team is all about. We are a team. We are the Mini family, and we want success for everyone no matter what. And that's how we roll. That is the idea of how you run a race as a team. That's how you do it.
Oh, that was just phenomenal. I gotta show some of this. So, Cristian, you were. It seemed like you were having a bit of a duel with these 2 BRZs almost the entire race 1.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy. I took the lead for the first 5 laps, and then they worked together to catch me. And as soon as they caught me, I just knew I either had to put myself in front or fall back and wait. And I thought falling back and waiting would have been the better option. And it really did turn out to be like that. And I think definitely nipping at their heels, like you can see, I went one side of the track to the other side of the track, really helped out of just
That was impressive there, whoever that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devin
That
said
was,
Devin. That was Devin.
Devin's car control really showed.
That was Devin?
Showed
Yeah.
class in that race.
Wow.
Yeah,
But,
that's
He had to change his underwear after that, just so you know.
yeah, right.
well, the guys will tell you, but that's the part of the track where every driver holds their breath and pucker up as they go at speed.
Yes.
That was just incredible. That was just incredible to watch. All the highlights from the race were just really good. That was just awesome to see. That it's like I almost like you were just biding your time, waiting for them to get a little sloppy.
Yeah, and I was literally like, I wish I had on, like, I was mic'd up or something, but with 3 laps to go, I said, here we go. Like, we went into the carousel and they were too wide right before they went through the kink. And I was like, let's make a charge at this and let's be smart about this. And I think they didn't expect that of me. Like Devin said, as the spider makes its cameo. Even Devin said Devin wasn't expecting me to be that aggressive, but I wanted it. I knew I had to get it, and we're trying to close in a championship here. So,
Yeah,
I just knew it was now or never. So,
the guys, those 3 guys right there, Cristian, Devin, and it's Cristian, right? Cristian, Subaru Cristian, right? Gresham.
No,
Gresham.
Gresham.
Yeah, Gresham.
Gresham, right? But he's Cristian also, right?
No.
Oh,
It's
Gresham.
Gresham Wagner.
Wagner. Yeah. Sorry, Gresham Wagner. So those guys right there, and PJ, but the top 5, you got Fartuk. Those, who else I'm missing that are really the front runners. Buckman was there. He wasn't at Road America, unfortunately. But there's the 5-6 guys that are really, really good. So we knew going into Road America, I told everybody, like, the cars, for most cars that have the best brakes at the end of the race are going to win. We knew that the BRC were going to be faster. They're about a second faster. Normally we knew that they were going to be fast at Road America, and obviously it showed after they passed Cristian on the 4th lap of the first race. But they made a big mistake by racing each other. And it was very unfortunate for them. They should be really proud because they're really good guys. So nothing, but obviously they both wanted to win the race, and that allowed Cristian to be in the draft most of the race and actually take care of his tires, right? So, and then Cristian just was able to stay all race long right behind them. Those 2 were racing really hard, man. I mean, they were just wearing up their tires, and I mean, it was a great race, man. It was a nail biter for all of us. I thought, I think really whoever, Cristian ended up winning, man. I mean, look at that save there. Like, Cristian won that battle because, I have to say that, the BRZ gave it to him, and even the announcer said it at some point, but all 3, I mean, none of them should be disappointed for not winning the race, because that was a hell of a race there, to be honest with it.
Didn't one of the BRZs during race 2, didn't it kind of just, I think it looked like it had suspension damage or something? It had mishap.
Popped a tire, I think.
Yeah.
Devin broke a coilover.
Passenger side front suspension failure. The coilover broke.
Yeah. I also told the guys too, right? Like, I mean, in race 2, oh wow, the Mini's super fast, and Cristian and PJ checked out, but they, I'm gonna, PJ's a hell of a nice teammate, man. I mean, he's the best. Yeah. He's the nicest guy in the paddock, and we'll never know if PJ had more pace than Cristian, but PJ for sure didn't put any pressure on him. I don't know. PJ won't admit it. Maybe he'll say he couldn't go any faster, or maybe he said, yeah, I could pass it, and we won't know. Maybe he was just content with a 2nd place and being a great teammate. So thanks, PJ, for that. But we all know that PJ should have been on several podiums, and every race week we're like, man, what's going on, and to be honest with you, the start dictates your race, and for PJ, he should have finished, he finished 4th, but he should have been in the fight. And unfortunately on the restart, one of the guys misshift in front of him. PJ hit him in the back. That cost Fartuk to get a penalty because he avoided that and passed before the start finish line, and it screwed up everybody's race, right?
Yep.
And in race 1, that screwed up PJ's race. Well, in race 2, PJ had a hell of a start from 6th place. Unfortunately for the other guys, they all hit each other, and not that they hit each other. That's just the way. We always talk about pre-race meeting and like, okay, let's do this and that. But the truth is, you can't predict the start of the race, right? So, I tell the guys, just get through turn 1, the first lap, settle in and go. And in race 2 for the other guys, they had a terrible start, right? They hit each other, they damaged their cars, they went off, and PJ had a hell of a start, got around everybody because they had a bad start. PJ had a good one, got him on Christian's back bumper, and these guys never raced each other. They just and remember, I'm sure, everybody, the series will look at the data and it's like, okay, how do we BOP the cars? But I'm sure they'll recognize that PJ was in the draft. They were in the draft together the whole time. So they're going to be faster down the straightaway than everybody else with broken cars trying to catch up. So,
and I think I heard somewhere that at one point there was like a 16-second gap or something like that.
Yeah.
You got a 22-second gap.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you look at the lap times, we were able to go out and run our qualifying lap times for the first 7 or 8 laps. So it's not like our cars are too fast. We just ran a very clean, smart team race where we worked together and basically towed and pushed each other around the track.
Mm-hmm.
There was also an advantage for the Subarus because there was a limit of 4 new Pirellis for this weekend. They run 4 in qualifying and then run those 4 for the race, and then usually put 4 new on for the second race. They didn't have that option, and that's where the advantage of being in a front-wheel drive mini JCW came to us. We put on 2 new for qualifying for the fronts. We run them in the first race, then put 2 new on for the second race. So we had a fresh set of tires for that race. So we basically did the smart thing as a team. I had, like Lewis said, the wickedest of starts. I was second by the end of the first lap from starting 6th. And we just played the team game and worked together and pushed and towed each other around the track. Like the draft around Road America, people say it's about 2 seconds. And we didn't touch, we didn't go door to door or anything like that. For the first 10 minutes, we basically just towed each other around, built that gap, and that's how you do things as a pro team.
Yeah. And, I drove home from after the race, 5-hour drive, and I was sitting there thinking, these weekends don't happen all the time. There's teams that dominate or whatever, occasionally here or there. I was thinking on my way home, I'm like, man, we just put tires, fuel, and wiped the cars down. We weren't changing. Like, it was the smoothest race weekend we have ever had, and in our 8 years of running the minis. And then we were rewarded with good teamwork and the finish, right? I mean, so this is not going to happen. This is really difficult to do this again. This just happens one time in a season or in whatever, right? So, overall, the weekend was a perfect weekend. We couldn't have asked for anything better. The guys were switched on. We knew we couldn't make any mistakes. And the drivers didn't put a wheel wrong all race 1, even when they were battling, right? I mean, Clay had a pretty, I don't want to say a relaxed race 1. And I don't know if we want to, at some point we'll switch over to Clay's race weekend, but he had a race 1 that was kind of like Cristian and PJ's race 2, and then, Cristian's and PJ's race 1 was pretty eventful and I'm sorry, pretty eventful. But for PJ in race 1, for Clay in race 1, we were dealing more with managing the brakes and the heat, but that we knew that was a problem going in, and that was Clay's biggest worry, I guess, right? Other than that, pretty smooth race 1, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Now I know Clay, you had some. I think about what I heard from the commentary. It was like electrical trouble or something with your car.
Yeah, something within the computer. We just didn't have as much boost as we usually did on the second race on the start. So I did that whole first lap down on boost, and then I finally cycled the car, and then it instantly came back, and I just had to charge my way back through the field.
Yeah. We don't know what the problem is, but we came up with some interesting possibilities today, actually, with Rob, he's my business partner, team co-owner, and technical director, lead engineer. And we have Z from Mini USA that is part of the team and also engineer, and we have we have another guy that helps us with DME on the cars, and we continue constantly get this fuel error code, and we're not sure what it was. So we think potentially is after every race or after every session we drain the fuel cell. Well, the drain for the fuel cell is at the fuel rail, and we're thinking potentially there could be a chance that we may be creating this problem by adding air to the direct pump when we pump out the cars for technical inspection. So it's something that we just came up with that this afternoon. So we'll look and see if we can. I don't know if the rules mandate that we drain from the fuel rail. We've always have. The TCA cars don't have that problem, but the TCA cars also run 100 horsepower less than the TC car. So the amount of fuel that the car requires, if there's air in the DI pump, the direct injection pump, it's maybe noticeable by the DME and only in the TC car. We ran in IMSA, we were running a different brand car, and every time we pumped out, we created an engine mist because we would put air into the fuel system at the DI pump, and we always had to bleed it to get the car to run, and we had some issues in the race with that. So we think we might be up to what the problem is, and it might not be a DME. The DME just recognizes that there is some kind of fuel pressure issue going on at some point. And it's interesting that Clay had the initial problem. Did you say you had the problem on the pace lap, or you noticed it potentially that you were having low power, or was it just at the start?
It was just at the start when
you were never at full power in the pace lap. So maybe the DME during the pace lap recognized that there was some kind of fuel pressure fluctuation. We have to recognize too that the DI pump puts out like 2,400 PSI to the injectors, right? Direct injection. A lot of people don't know that, but that's just part of, the old multi-port injection only needed 50 PSI, 50 to 60 PSI. These are running 2,400 PSI at the injectors, which is a big number, right? And when you have an extra 100 horsepower, the car needs more fuel than the TC cars, and the DME recognizes it and says, okay, well, we don't have enough fuel, so I need to turn the power down, right? So maybe there's not a problem with the DME or electronics. We created with the fuel problem, and so we'll fix it. It's part of the learning process of we collect data from the TC car. The car just completed a full season of running, right? It was this car was debuted at Road America last year, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's completed a full season of running, and I mean, obviously, we've run much better in this season than we did the first part of it last year. But we learned a lot. You can see that Clay is pumping his brakes in every corner. Again, the Mini was fast, but the reality is the Honda was running hot and wasn't running full power. So you can see that Bohm normally ran opposite to, in clean air, trying to cool the car down, and he would fall back and get some clean air and regain some speed when he could cool the car down. Rika in the Hyundai,
looked a little sloppy right there.
Well, I think, the Hyundai, especially Rika's Hyundai, which has the dual clutch transmission, he wears his tires really quick. So the last third of the race, he struggles for grip. So all three cars were dealing with something, and the Mini just was dealing with the least amount of problems, which was our brakes, our heat in the brakes, right? So that's why Clay in the second race was just so pissed off that he had to go back to seventh and had to go chase everybody. He was so fast. He was really puckered up and holding his breath through the kink. He was the fastest guy overall. He was faster than the TCX cars through there. So that's impressive,
sure
right?
was.
I mean, he drove his heart out and caught the guys, took advantage of their weakness, which is heat. Well, we were all dealing with some kind of heat or tire issue, and we were the ones that managed it the best. And I say we, Clay did, and the Mini is pretty sorted, to be honest with you, right? We don't have engine heating issues no matter what the day or what Mother Nature's day is. It's either hot or cold or whatever,
Better knock on some wood after you've said that.
Yeah. We seem to have the clutch issue resolved now, and we got to figure out what's going on with the DME, and I think we're up to something here with the fuel line, something that we're probably creating, anyway. So yeah, well, I think the car overall is for sure the best built car, not just because we run it, but I know the Honda well, and that car's at the limit at temps right now. It always has been, and I think that's the weak link on the Honda. And for Rick, I think it's his tires. We'll address the brake issue. Sebring is the next race where brakes are going to be probably the worst for everybody, even the Hondas and the Hyundais. I know the BMWs are pretty sorted, but we'll have the Mini sorted with the brakes for Sebring. We won't have any brake issues there either. So I predict that. Obviously, no guarantees, but we know what we have the next. What the work at the shop is for the next 3 weeks.
Tanine McGarvey wants to know, what can you expect at Sebring? Cristian, wasn't that your first race in the Mini last year?
It was. Me and Dad were actually, Dad and I were talking about that at dinner tonight, and I thought about it a lot on my drive home. That this is going to be the first track we're going back to that I know, because all these tracks that we've gone to this year so far, they're my first time being there, so I have a lot to learn in practice and qualifying, and luckily we've been pretty quick. And like Dad said, the car is pretty sorted, so we're not fighting any technical issues. But we were quick at Sebring last year, and me and PJ actually had a battle when he was at his old team. And I think Sebring, I learned a lot. Like I had never been in a race car ever. And no track days, no autocross, no nothing before Sebring, just iRacing and video games and some go-karting. So when I went into Sebring last year, I really did not know what to expect or what to do or how to manage stuff, and I just had to learn on the fly. And now going there this year with the knowledge we have, I feel like we should be pretty strong. And I know PJ was pretty strong there last year with a kind of hurt car that he had, so I think this year he should be pretty quick. But the Mini has had a lot of success, even in IMSA at Sebring, so I think it's going to be Clay's first time there in the TC car, so I think he'll really enjoy that. But we really have to put our heads down and fully focus on Sebring and Indy, because I think we have a chance. There's a chance at winning this championship, and even winning the manufacturer's championship. We've really in the last, that's VIR, it's almost like we switched a flip. Just I don't know, we've just been in our stride, I think, as a team and as drivers. I think something changed, and we're just all fully focused and ready to get, and we're super hungry and ready to get all we can.
Well, I definitely heard there's going to be some big stuff in store at Indianapolis for Mini, as far as Mini USA doing some stuff out there. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of that stuff when I come out to Indianapolis. I know I've said I was going to come to I said I was going to come to Road America. I said I was going to come to this other race, and I decided I am going to come to Indianapolis. Luckily, I can stop at my grandma's house in St. Louis on my way there, so I'll be able to actually get there and take my time a little bit. So I do plan to be in Indianapolis to check out the facility, attend the race, and meet you all in person for the first time ever.
Yeah, Indy obviously is our backyard, so let's go have some fun. Let's celebrate the final race of the season, regardless of what happens in the races, right? Like, just for any championship opportunities that we have, is we have to be, it's mathematical, and it's going to be really tough to win any of them, but all we can do is control our own destination, destiny, and just we have to do what we did last weekend and be clean, not put a wheel wrong, not bang up the cars. We know Sebring really well. We've won there in both series, and the minis are, that's my favorite racetrack, and the reason why I like it so much is because it's tough. If you win there, I mean, you earned it, right? I mean, the track is tough on the cars. The weather is tough. It could be 90 degrees, 100% humidity, so it's tough on the crew and the guys. Or it could be, a hurricane weather. So, like in every aspect, Sebring is just terrible.
It's brutal.
It's just terrible. So I like it.
Brutal.
So if you win there, man, you earned it. So I remember going there as a crew member in IndyCar and sports cars, and like I had never won, my favorite track, and then with minis we won twice, I think, in a row. Then we won there and with the other brand, and then so I look forward to it again. Brakes are going to be an issue for everybody, so we need whoever manages their brakes the best is going to win the race. It's not going to be speed. It's not going to be grip. I mean, the track there's 3 different surfaces. There's no perfect setup there. Like every corner is, you can only set up for a couple of corners. So, we'll take it. We'll go there and do our best job, and that's all we can do all the way to Indy.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting a chance to see you guys in person. Now, I have a highlight reel for Lewis here.
Uh-oh.
and it's for this phone and headset setup there.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Yeah.
It's signature now.
That is really clever too. I really think that was clever.
Yeah, I mean,
that might be our good luck charm. So you need.
Yeah, you got to do that every weekend now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't, in pit lane, you only see the front straight, right? And so the announcers, Ryan Marine and Calvin Fish do a great job in announcing the race, and they're really knowledgeable, and they can tell what's going on with the car. So, I can't see anything. So I listen to those guys. Obviously, we're racing normally up front or fighting for front. So those guys talk a lot about, our drivers in the cars, and so that's how I know what's going on. The crazy thing is, the live stream is running like 15 seconds behind, right? So I had seen, like, when Cristian passed for the lead, I had seen that, but that had happened 15 seconds ago, and I expected him to be coming somewhere around either the kink or like we should be seeing him come up the front straightaway any second. And at Road America, you only see the part of the top of the hill. You see the flag stand and the top of the hill. So you don't see turn 14 or who's coming up the hill. So we didn't see Cristian or who was coming until the checker flag, basically, right? So so it was a nail biter. Like we knew he had passed, and we saw the other two guys right on his back bumper, and we're like, man, like is somebody who's coming through, right? So yeah, and at the same time, the TCX leader had taken the checker, so the live stream went to them, and then it went to Clay, and we cheered on Clay when he came by, and we're like, everybody's biting their nails just on the wall, just waiting for to see where the TCA leader was coming. So yeah, that the live stream is amazing. They do a great job. The broadcast is awesome. Obviously, you're showing a lot of clips of it, and we enjoy it quite a bit. So we'll yeah. So that's the first time I had put the phone on between my headphones. So obviously I'm doing it for from now on, right? So
Yep. Now that's gonna now they're just gonna turn the cameras to you during the live streams to see what Lewis is doing.
Yeah, you can see it too, right? I had the camera to the outside because I didn't want my skin to pause it or anything like that. So
Nice.
That was clever. I was watching that. I actually had to laugh because I was like, that is rather ingenious way of doing it.
Yeah, and the guys, the Shay Adam, who's our pit reporter, she was filling in for Amanda that was on a different series that day, and so she knows us very well, and so she recognized what I was doing with the phone there, right? So she got the camera guy to go close to me, and she told Ryan and Calvin in the booth what I was doing, which is kind of cool.
And we do have a little bit of the audio for that.
It's quite a look there, Lewis.
I like it. And he doesn't want that championship.
Hold on.
It's quite a look there, Lewis.
Quite a look there is what they're saying.
He doesn't want that championship lead cut, even though it's pretty healthy right now.
That is Louis Perocarpi, team owner, LAP Motorsports. He's listening to us in one ear.
Nice.
Yeah. When Ryan said that, I turned around and I gave him the thumbs up, like, yep, I'm listening. But they went to they changed the camera, but yeah.
Well, that was really funny. So it was like when I was creating the highlight reels for everybody tonight, I was like, I saw that and I'm like, yeah, we have to include a Lewis highlight reel.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Lewis as well. But Christian's car did give me an idea. I've been battling brake dust issues with my car now for months, and I'm thinking I may need to switch to gunmetal wheels.
They look good in the yellow car for sure.
They look good in the yellow. I wonder how they look on British Racing Green.
I think they look good on any color of the.
Yeah, I think like I'm not a big fan of the black wheel. Never really have, and it's quite popular, which is fine. I mean, everybody, to each their own. But
yeah,
on a race car, to me, like a wheel's like jewelry, right? You want to see it, and when it's black, it just looks like part of the rubber, the tire, and so it's kind of like showing some bling bling. So for me, a wheel needs to be either silver or polished aluminum or. So the gunmetal does look good on his yellow car. I like the silver on Clay's car, and I like it on PJ's car.
Yeah.
I do like when we put the rain tires on Clay's car. It does have we do that. I think it's also a gunmetal color.
Yeah.
It looks good, except that the car is just too dark, right? So on the racetrack, to me, you don't. It just looks like a big. On TV, it looks like a big black dot, and we are representing a brand and we want people to see the car. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's important that you have a color that you can see the headlight rings and the fender flares, in the wheel. So it
would be kind of cool is if Mini made you guys a special wheel for Clay's car that looks like the GP wheel.
Yeah, that would be nice. Cool. I think that's something that we would have to make, but that's not in our budget. That's quite costly.
Although I was talking with New Speed recently. They do have a new wheel out that's meant for the Countryman, but it also fits the GP3. And I looked at it, I'm like, it looks really kind of aggressive. It might be an interesting one to try it on that.
We'll have to see it. Yeah, share it with us at some point.
Yeah, it almost has a bit of a Dakar rally look to it. It's really funny, but it fits the GP3. So
Very cool.
Just
Nice.
surprising. But we're almost 35 minutes in, and it's been a great chat with everybody. We've 25 people we've had a highest number has been 25 people so far continuous watching this. That's pretty good for a live stream, but you guys had a fantastic race weekend, so no surprise there that we've had a lot of people pop in to watch and congratulate you all, and I'm sure a lot more people are going to watch this. Oh, we just hit 26, but a lot more people are going to be watching this. Your guys are going to be watched like crazy for the next race. I'm pretty sure all the other racing teams are probably watching recaps of the race and looking for how they can beat you guys at Sebring.
Yeah. I'd like to say something real quick. Like, I'm super excited for the caliber of all the drivers, right? From TCX to TC to all the way down to the TCA guys. Like, I think we went full green the second race. We're not having a lot of yellows. There's great respect for all the front runners, right? Like Bohm and Reka and Barbado and and on the TCA side, all the Gresham and Devin and obviously our drivers, and then Partook and all these guys, they're doing a really good job. If you watch the GT3 and GT4 races, man, it's a lot of expensive cars are going in the dumpster at the end of the weekend, and for all of us, it's difficult, right? Like we have to take care of our race cars. We don't have unlimited budget, and when you have Clay and Cristian making passes, with their competition. And yeah, I mean, I'm just really proud of all the drivers. They should be really proud, even if they don't win a race. Like I keep saying, Bohm and Rika and Devin and Gresham, they're doing a great job, right? So they're putting on a great show. They should be really proud, even if they haven't won. I mean, if they didn't win that race, but they've won some races, so they should be proud of how they ended up the race,
Mm-hmm.
And
First year, maybe because I'm more involved, but it's like everybody as the community of just TC America, we've all come together, and I think in years past, there's been lots of conflicts and fights at some tracks and on-track stuff that happens. But this year has been nothing like that. It's everybody comes together. After all the races, we all talk and hang out. And so I think personally, it's been pretty amazing to be like that. It's almost like everybody's friends.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be there every weekend and seeing all these people.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
PJ will tell you this, but you guys are going to race together for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So the racing family is small, and you really don't want to have enemies. So you just got to race everybody like you want to be raced, again, it's apparent that all these young drivers, PJ's the older guy of the paddock, but he's the nicest, and everybody loves racing with PJ. And if you respect everybody, race everybody clean, I mean, imagine what's going to happen the next, 5-10 years racing together, man. It just becomes a good time, right? You don't want to go there with enemies and retaliations, and you got race cars that get damaged, and it's just too expensive to be doing that.
No.
I have been a part of damage and retaliation in the past. So sometimes you got to do it to gain that respect, but there's nothing better than being able to go out there and run door to door with someone and have the most cleanest, fun racing.
Yeah.
So we do have the best group of people with regards to that this season that I've seen in my Rally World Challenge, SRO, TC America career since 2013. So it's really, really good this year. So super exciting.
Definitely a weekend for the books. I'm sure that will be one that a lot of mini enthusiasts across the U.S. and even around the world probably are going to be watching. rewatching that and relishing in the fact that Mini pulled off a fantastic weekend.
Yeah. With that, I do got to send a shout out to my very dear friend Alain Lazier of Mini Canada. Orange Crush is back. We did it this weekend. That podium was for all my sponsors and partners. We're back finally, and we're going to keep the momentum rolling.
Yeah, I expect PJ to be in the fight now. I mean, we got past whatever was going on, and again, I think our races, everybody's race is dictated or by the start, and if once we get through turn one and things settle in, I mean everybody should have the opportunity to be there, and we'll have some good races.
He'll get first place at Indy.
Oh, Sebring and Indy.
Sebring and Indy. There you go.
I've done it before. I'm going to do it again. So.
There you go.
Sounds awesome. Very cool.
Well, it was great chatting with you all. Stay online real quick when we wrap everything up. Elaine says thanks, PJ. And but I want to thank everybody for watching, all the fans of the Miniac and of Mini USA and of the John Cooper Works Racing Team. If you like what you see on the channel, there's always more content to check out, including previous live streams, so take advantage of that. Our Instagram handles are panning by at the bottom of the screen. I also want to thank the channel sponsors, outmotoring.com and motoringstripes.com, the guy who does all my vinyl, and I'm going to have to get in touch with him soon to put some LAP Motorsports stickers on my car, possibly, unless Lewis has some laying around we can pop on the car. But
we'll figure something out.
Yeah, it was great chatting with everyone, and I'm just going to remind you all before I let you go for the evening that life is too short to drive a boring car. So, team, what do we do?
Drive a Mini.
Drive a Mini. There we go. Well, it was great chatting with you all. I will see you all We'll see you all on the live stream next month. More videos to come on the Miniac later this week and next week. So check those out and see you all next time.